What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on the video. And I apologise for my absence. I usually upload every day, but the last couple of days have been really goddamn busy with work. I'm sure you all understand. And today we're going to be talking about Medal of Honor. Now, if you've never played Medal of Honor, there was multiple games released from the late 90s up to 2012 was the latest release. And I'm going to make a video on why I want Medal of Honor back to goddamn help Call of Duty out. And I know lots of people call me negative, so I wanted to make a more positive video. I'm still going to put in a couple of digs at Call of Duty World War II, but that's to be expected when I'm talking about one of the greatest FPS franchises to ever be released on any platform. In my humble opinion, Medal of Honor did everything right. Now, this may be me being nostalgia blind, but I'm pretty sure I replayed some of them a couple of years ago on my PS2. And I love them just as much now as I did back then, even with the crappy graphics and everything. Even the Medal of Honor that came out in 2012 was a good game. It was nothing on the old early 2000 games, but it was a really good game nonetheless. And it's still better than Call of Duty World War II. I mean, I don't even have to play that game. I can look at it and it just looks awful. If Medal of Honor would just to... DICE would just to create a rough sketch of what they wanted Medal of Honor to look like next year, then pushed it out by the end of this year, I'm pretty confident that it'd beat Call of Duty World War II in goddamn every gameplay aspect. Now, the Medal of Honor games were set in World War II, well, most of the older games. The newer ones were set in more modern times, but my personal favourite was Medal of Honor Rising Sun. Now, this game was set in the Pacific Theatre back in World War II, which saw mainly the Japanese and Americans war. Now, there was tons of other factions in it. There was Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Thailand, China, the UK, but mainly it was between the Americans, the Japanese. Now, everyone who studied history has heard of Pearl Harbor. Basically started the war for the Americans. Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, which was a ship site for the US, and killed and sunk lots of ships, which then forced Americans to get involved in the war, and that was the start of Hitler and the Japanese downfall in World War II when the US got involved. And Medal of Honor Rising Sun played that so well. The gameplay was very fluent for a game that released in, I think it was 2003 that game came out, and co-op in the game absolutely flawless. I mean, I loved the game. I used to play co-op with my friends a hell of a lot. You could put it so there was tons of different like AI robots you were fighting against. Just let's say like 6 friendlies and 6 enemies. Because back then in 2003, not many houses had internet. It was online enabled, but you'd find the servers wouldn't be very full on goddamn PlayStation 2. Not many people even played on PlayStation Network back then, believe it or not. And what I loved about these games was they were not afraid to include things. EA and DICE, this is one of the games that I will congratulate them from the bottom of my heart. They were fucking awesome. Weren't scared to put curse words in, weren't scared to show swastikas. Now, Rising Sun itself didn't have swastikas in because it focused on the American and Japanese war, whereas Medal of Honor Allied Assault and Medal of Honor Frontlines focused on the Nazis, British and American part of the war. All of them were portrayed so well, whereas nowadays, with every single Call of Duty that releases in World War II, it's just focusing on Americans. Now, even Americans who comment on my videos saying they're getting sick of this, they want to see the Japanese, the English, the Romanians, the Polish. Everyone's wanting to see the war from a different perspective. We're not wanting to see D-Day over and over and over and over. That seems that every single World War II game that comes out now is just focusing on the Americans, when there's so many other smaller countries they could focus on and show stories that have not been told before. And Medal of Honor did this back in the early 2000s. Now, lots of my fans and my audience like 15, 14, 16, so they've not had the chance to play this. They weren't old enough to get a PS2, get an original Xbox, pick these games up and play them and enjoy them for what they are. And if you go back and play them now, you might think, what a fucking pile of shit they are compared to what games look like graphically today and play like today. But back in the day, they were the best World War II games out. Call of Duty didn't come anywhere close to these. Now, another personal favourite of mine was Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Now, this is where Infinity Ward were formed. Every single member who worked on Allied Assault was brought across by Activision and made to work on Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. And Infinity Ward were good up until Ghosts, and then straight down like that. They should have never left. They should have just continued making Medal of Honors now. I'm really happy they made Call of Duty 4 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. All amazing games, but we want a step back to World War 2 with a competent developer. Not goddamn fucking Sledgehammer Games who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Goddamn SJW Warfare 2017. That game makes me feel fucking sick when I look back at games like Medal of Honor Allied Assault, Medal of Honor Rising Sun, Medal of Honor Frontlines. These fucking games that forged my childhood on the PS2. Just getting shat on basically. Kids who were my age, well, I was about 10, 11 years old when I played these. That is the most majority of Call of Duty's audience, 10, 11 years old. They're going to play these games, they're going to think that's what fucking World War II was like. No, it's fucking not. There was not goddamn black Nazis running around. There was not all this stupid shit that Sledgehammer Games is putting in the game running around. And these idiots, if the parents don't educate them, are going to think that's what fucking happened when it fucking didn't. Now, I mean, the gameplay on the screen now is going to look goddamn awful for you. I mean, we're in 2017 for fuck's sake. This game released in 2003, and this was my fucking shit. Rising Sun, Medal of Honor Rising Sun. Fucking amazing. We very rarely see World War II games show Japan's side at war, and this one did it fantastically. The explosions and the story were fucking awesome for 2003. I can't fault it. Even watching this back, there's no fucking pedestrians walking around the street, but we got. This was the goddamn shit. I'm telling you, boys. Go back, relive this shit, watch some trailers, and the nostalgia, it rolls back in. Now, I mean, for those of you who are going to go, oh, it didn't sell well, it didn't do well. It was the best-selling FPS game in the 2000s. In 2008, it got the Guinness World Records Award for the best-selling franchise. So Call of Duty, Battlefield, they came nowhere near to Medal of Honor. And unfortunately, EA, I don't know, they decided to push Battlefield more. Battlefield offered these huge open spaces, whereas Medal of Honor was focused more on story and close, tight quarters combat, which is why Activision purged the team which made Medal of Honor Allied Assault and then thought, we'll fetch him across here, and then Call of Duty's seen a meteoric rise ever since, and Medal of Honor's been on a decline because DICE aren't making it anymore. It was DICE and Infinity Ward, so it was similar to what Sledgehammer and Treyarch had doing with this rotate and rotate, but every single game with Medal of Honor were good. It wasn't Treyarch do a good one and then Sledgehammer Games do a bad one. When it was in Medal of Honor, every single game that came out was fucking awesome, in my opinion. Now, that's probably because there were no SJW Warfare, which fucking pisses me off. And the story in the early 2000s is better than the stories that's getting told in the late 2015, 2016, 2017s. Every single game that's come out every single year has near enough been crap. Now, Battlefield 1 had a decent campaign, but when you compare it to games in the early 2000s like Medal of Honor, in my opinion, it don't come close. Now, I know Battlefield fanboys are going to hate on me for that as well. I love Battlefield. It's, in my opinion, though, I'd still rather have a new Medal of Honor over Battlefield 1. Now, the Medal of Honor game that was, let's say, the best received critically was Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Now, this launched and got absolutely astonishing reviews. Game Revolution gave it a 5 out of 5, which were a big publication back in the day. GameSpot 9 out of 10, and IGN 9.3 out of 10. Bit of a strange review, but they did. And that's the one that Infinity Ward, before they were Infinity Ward, completed. Then they left, and it kind of left a huge dint in Medal of Honor. Now, that wasn't personally my favourite. Frontlines and then Rising Sun. I like the Pacific Theatre. It's not done much in many World War II games. Most of them just focus on German, American and British, like I've said before. Whereas the Pacific Theatre's not done a lot, but there's so much to sort of explore and explain. Pearl Harbor was a huge part of history, and it's not explained very well. Medal of Honor Rising Sun did it well, and it's one of the reasons I like it. I like being educated while I'm playing my games, and I looked at most of the facts, and most of them were correct. Whereas if you look up facts in Call of Duty World War II, unless the story is going to be fully historically accurate, you ain't going to want to Google any of that shit. What happens in multiplayer? I'll goddamn tell you that now. Now, after the release of Pacific Assault, Medal of Honor kind of went on a decline. They'd lost the development team that got them so goddamn far because Activision purged that shit from them. They still got some original members, like DICE were some of the original people focusing on it, but again, Battlefield was a huge thing for DICE. That sort of set them apart and got them the recognition they deserved. Yeah, after that, there was a 3-year hiatus until Medal of Honor Airborne came around, and not many people like that, I'm going to be honest with you. Critics liked it, people not so much. Now, it wasn't a great game in my opinion, I will be honest with you. The last great Medal of Honor game up until then was Pacific Assault, which came out in 2004. And then after another 3-year hiatus from Airborne, we had a couple crappy games on PSPs and Game Boys and that sort of stuff. And then Medal of Honor, just named Medal of Honor, relaunched in 2010. DICE wanting to reinvigorate this franchise. Now, in my eyes, they did this game good. It was very good. It was a modern Medal of Honor, which not many people were happy about. People wanted World War II again, which is what we're seeing with Call of Duty, and people saying want World War II, but then they've done it pretty shit. Now, I was happy. It was like they were showing you what happened in Afghanistan. They actually got real operators who'd served in the military, the US military, and got them in to tell them the stories, and they based the story mode, or campaign as you wish to call it, off real life stories, which I thought was very well done. Props to EA and DICE for doing this. Not many game developers or game publishers would try and do that. They usually just make up stories. But then after that we saw a trend of people wanting veterans to come in and tell them the stories. You copied EA. I'm sad to say that, but you copied EA. Now the game, it got like 7s out of 10s, 6 out of 10s. Metacritic gave it 72, so nothing absolutely amazing, but it did sort of reinvigorate the franchise after such a hiatus. And then EA being EA tried pumping another one out in 2 years, which was a goddamn mistake. And that was called Medal of Honor Warfighter. Now, again, the concept of the multiplayer was very interesting, to say the least. You could pick from all these different special operators, so the SAS, Spetsnaz, Navy SEALs, SASR, KSK, GROM. There was all the special forces of multiple different countries, so Canada, Germany, Poland, Australia, America, and the UK. So that was a very unique concept, but the multiplayer was so flawed, the single player again, and the graphics. Now, this shouldn't be a big thing in games, but the graphics, for some reason, looked worse in a game that launched in 2012 than the original, which launched in 2010. Now, I'm not sure how they managed that, but apparently DICE and EA did, even though it launched on a Frostbite engine. Now, this is just the original Frostbite engine, not Frostbite 2 or 3. 2 for Battlefield 3 and 3 for Battlefield 4 and for Battlefield 1. Now, the reviews on this one were not so great. 4 out of 10 on IGN, 6 out of 10 on GameSpot, and a 55 on Metacritic. And that has kind of just halted the franchise in its footsteps, which is goddamn sad to see. It got absolutely bashed on Metacritic by user reviews. You can tell some people go brutal on Steam. Look at some of the Steam reviews and it absolutely got ripped a new one. I didn't think it was that bad. But we haven't seen a Medal of Honor game now for 5 years, and I am wanting one back. Everyone in the comments, if you want another Medal of Honor, I'd like the shit I've just explained, drop me a comment with hashtag bring Medal of Honor back. We want another game. DICE, we want you to do a World War II game or Vietnam. I'm calling that now. Medal of Honor Vietnam would be absolutely astonishing. With the technology you have with Frostbite 3, set aside half of your team to focus on Medal of Honor. It is a different DICE to what makes Battlefield 1. It's DICE Los Angeles. Now, they're a very skilled development team, and I think they just made a mistake with Warfighter. They were trying to get a game pushed out to EA's stupid fucking deadlines, which has killed so many games. EA, please give them the time and the resources they need to make another great Medal of Honor game. This could be your chance to overtake Call of Duty. Battlefield, it's getting so close, but just failing at that last push. Now, Medal of Honor was a better seller than Call of Duty at one point. It was the best selling game in the late 2000s. We need to bring it back to that goddamn greatness and stop forcing these unfinished games out of the door. People don't want modern shooters anymore. There's so many modern shooters on Steam, on the PSN store, and on Xbox store. We want a World War II game or a Vietnam game done correctly. Do not let these SJWs tell you what to do. Put your heart and goddamn soul into this shit. Put cursing in that. Put fucking swearing. Put goddamn gore. And put, if you're going to do World War II, put the goddamn Japanese. Don't focus on one part of the war. Do the Japanese, the Germans, the Russians, the British. We want to see all these goddamn factions. It don't, like Battlefield 1 did. Shows you all these different sides of the war, but put it in a more compelling story. Because Battlefield 1's story was pretty much goddamn rubbish. In my opinion, the storytelling was good, but it just led to nowhere. One thing I want to say is we need to distinguish Medal of Honor from Battlefield. Medal of Honor, we want more small, compact fights. Battlefield, good for all this big, huge vehicle stuff. We don't want kill streaks, we want a good old-fashioned Medal of Honor. A fun shooter being historically accurate and telling a good story at the same time. We hope this is not too much to ask. DICE, EA, please. We want another Medal of Honor, please just do it. We're so sick of playing Call of Duty, and lots of people are sick of Battlefield at the same time. Now, I love Battlefield, but if I had to pick Battlefield, Call of Duty, or Medal of Honor, I'd pick Medal of Honor every single day of the week. Those are my goddamn childhood memories. Fucking game. I'm seeing it from rose-tinted goggles, I will admit that, guys. But I want you to let me know in the comments what you thought of Medal of Honor back. If you've not played it, watch some gameplay clips, let me know what you think, or even pick it up. If you've still got a PS2 hanging around, pick it up, give it a play, let me know what you think. Now, you won't see it as good as what I did back in the early 2000s, but I spent over hundreds and hundreds of hours just replaying the campaign. What game can you safely say, an FPS game in 2016, 2015, 2017, that you've gone back and replayed the story? I can't name one. Played Battlefield 1 story, never played it again. Played Black Ops 3 story, never played it again. I've never had the reason to go back and play an FPS story again. The only games that I've played multiple times in the last couple of years, we're talking Skyrim, The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3, but they're all RPG games. We want the FPS genre to be more than it is currently, which is just a fucking minefield with fucking kids who shout they're going to fuck your mum down the mic. We want Medal of Honor back. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video, smash that thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you think of Medal of Honor. If you dislike the video, dislike it. Let me know why in the comments. If you did enjoy though, please subscribe and turn notifications on, and you'll get notified every single time I upload. Thank you all, and I will see you all tomorrow.
That I'ma do just what I want. Looking ahead, no turning back. If I fall, if I die, know I lived it to the fullest. If I fall, if I die, know I lived and missed some bullets. I'm on the pursuit of happiness.